The Opterix workflows offers a complete package for managing SITC projects. In the earlier video, we have seen the complete cycle of how sales happen and the project is awarded. And as soon as a project is awarded, the project team gets working, and these are the things the project team does. First, they start with material planning, where they will estimate the full extent of material required for the project. This includes all the material committed to the customer in the quotation, plus all the supporting items that are required for successfully installing and testing all the equipment. Then a work schedule is prepared. This decides when what work will be done, which areas will be taken first and which will be taken next, and so on. And based on the work schedule, material is requested. The material may be requested in parts aligning with the work schedule. This material request goes to management for approval, then purchase orders are created, then material is delivered from the suppliers, and the material may be delivered directly to the site, or it may be delivered to a warehouse from which it may be sent to the project site. In both cases, the material is received at the project site, and then the work gets done. And for items which are built based on actual measurements are reported. These measurements may be reported and the customer's signature taken within the system, so that you have clear proof of measurements having been agreed by the customer, so that there are no billing disputes. For equipment, there's an installation process. We will get all the equipment installed on their designated spots, and after all the installation is completed, we will do commissioning. Commissioning takes place for a bunch of equipment at a time, and after the commissioning, the service department takes over. They actually verify the commissioning and then start warranty for the commissioned equipment. Let us see this in action now. Before we start with the details of the project execution, let us first take a look at this My Projects dashboard. The My Projects dashboard is available to all the team members of each project. We had seen, as part of the sales process, towards the end, after a project has been awarded, a team had been set up for each project. So each team member gets to see this dashboard, and they will see all the projects assigned to them in this list. So for example, because I have logged in here, I see all these projects where I have been assigned as a team member, and I select a project by hitting this button. When I hit that, this whole dashboard orients itself to this. For example, if I pick this as my current project, the whole dashboard is refreshed and I see all the reports pertaining to this project. And then if I go here, I will see the project team, which is as per this particular project. Now, my current project for this demo, I will be using this project called Ramesh Kumar Farmhouse. So I click select here, and this dashboard orients itself to this project. And now I can see that the project team is like this. All these people have been assigned to this project, and I can see the rest of the details, such as the project status, which is one of the most important things. And here I see that the BOQ quantities have been assigned, the BOM quantities have not been assigned, which means that the bill of material has not been prepared for this project. So we will start with the bill of material. So these are the steps which we will be following in this dashboard. Material planning, followed by managing work, which means creating work and assigning to people. Then we will request material, receive material, and then report measurements. And as part of the managing work, we will also do installation, commissioning, etc., handing over the project to the service department. To start, we do material planning. We go here to do material planning, where the project has been automatically set based on our project selection, we need to select a quotation for this project. So we will do that and hit this show material plan. When we do this, it shows us the items that have been listed in the quotation. These are the items that we had listed in the quotation for this particular project. And the BOQ quantities are what we have put in the quotation. Now the project will be run based on the BOM quantities, which we call the bill of material quantity. These have to be set by the designer. So we have this column called design quantity. These have been by default assigned the same values as the BOQ quantity. Now the designer, based on his analysis of the project site and the documents and so on, can decide that some of these quantities have to differ, and they may also decide that certain other items are required. There are some supporting items that will be required for each of these items, such as for the high side items there may be some panels and sensors and remote controls, etc., that will be required, which we are not billing the customer separately, but will be needing to buy from the supplier separately. So we need to add those. Along with these copper pipes, we may require some refrigerant, the insulations, and a lot of other things. So the designer will make a plan for all the items that are required in addition to this, and at the same time, he or she will also adjust these quantities. So to add additional items, what one has to do is just click on this row here, empty row, like this, and go to the browser and select those additional items, such as some sensors, like that. I have selected a couple and give it some quantities based on my knowledge as a designer. Then I can decide that the actual quantity of this particular 1/4 required is a little bit over what has been quoted, and maybe this is required a little bit less than what has been quoted, and this also. So it is possible for the designer to make this kind of adjustments, and wherever the quantities required are quoted as higher than the BOQ quantity, that will be highlighted in red. And over here, we are presenting just for copper the BOQ quantity versus the BOM quantity. In case there is a change, it is reflected here, so that before approving, management can see this in summary really fast. Similarly, other items may be added here simply by selecting from here. I have selected some elbow joints. Like this, you can select as many items that are required and set their quantities. And after having done all this, the designer can mark this as completed and save. So when this is marked as completed, this material planning design will be presented to management for approval, and they will approve. As I have already logged in as management, I can approve it directly. So I will just approve it right now. And notice what happens to the BOM quantity. When I approve, you will see that the design quantities are copied into the BOM quantity, and then this BOM status will be set as approved. So let us, I hit this, right? I hit the approve. So the BOM status has changed to approved, and we can see that the BOM quantity here has been written with the quantities in the design quantity. So this is how we protect the BOM quantities from being inadvertently changed by the designer. The designer is allowed to change only the design quantities, and whatever changes are made here, they will only get reflected in the BOM quantity after the management approves. So that way there is a layer of security built here. Another important thing to note here in the material planning design is what you have in the footer. Here we are presenting a summary. It says total order value. So this is the order value for this project and estimated cost. This is the cost of all this material that we have put, that the designer has put. The designer has estimated that all these items, including the supporting items, are required in these quantities. And we have in our system an estimated rate of purchase for all these items. Sometimes this rate may not be available, in which case you can manually put it here, and you will see that an estimated cost has been calculated. This is simply the rate times the quantity, right? So you see a total cost for the project, which is here estimated cost, and therefore the profit margin, and profit margin in percentages, purely based on material, right? So this is saying how much you are going to make total revenue versus what is your total cost of the material that you will be deploying in this project. After being done with the material planning, we are now ready to do work allocation. For that, we go to manage work. And here we see that some items have been already listed. We will add more items here. We will add what ducting work is required, and when we will do that, then we'll add what wiring is needed. We can add these items at a high level, and then we can subsequently break these down into subtasks. So we can say that this is the main ducting task, and then we can break it down into a room-wise ducting tasks, or we can directly create all the tasks as needed. I have created tasks like this for ducting, wiring, plumbing, installations, and so on, and written down where what will be done, and assigned engineers to each of these tasks. Of course, these can be changed, the dates can be adjusted as required, but this is our plan for now. Based on this schedule, we can now go ahead and ask for the material low side and high side. To request material, we go to request material. The project has been selected already, and we can select a site if required, or we can leave that alone. We can request from a wide range of items. We can say we want high side items, low side items. There may be times when you request some tools or some items, say some low side items which have not been listed in the bill of material, but you still want to request them. You can do that. For now, let us say we want low side and save. When we do this, the low side items that we had selected in our bill of material earlier, those are presented here. See, these are all the items, and it shows the balance quantity. The balance quantity is the total bill of material quantity minus what has been already delivered to the project site. Right now it's a new project, we have not delivered anything. So the balance quantity is the total bill of materials quantity that we have. So all we need to do now is fill the requested quantity or required quantity. We can say that we want to do this copper work. So we will enter the full amount. It is possible for you to request a partial amount now and then ask for more amount later, or you can ask for all of it based on how you design your work process. You can pick who will approve this bill of material. Otherwise, the management approves automatically anyway. So I can select like this, an approver, and save. So that's that. The bill of material has been created for approval by the management. the management will eventually approve it. And we can note that the make has been column has been provided. If you wish, you can specify what make of this material is being requested, so that the delivery can be arranged for that particular time. Now we hit next, and let's do this one more time, and this time we will ask for high side items. So supposing we want high side items, not immediately, but maybe after 5 days. On the 30th, we want the high side items, so we can do this. And then what we see is that here the high side items are presented, and the make is automatically set to Daikin because that is what was specified in the quotation, etc. So we know that. So now the requested quantity, again we can say we want some of these or all of these, however you want. You can stagger these deliveries by the date. You can pick an approver for this also and say. Okay. So this is how you request material, and these will now go for approval, and eventually the material will come to you in the projects either as a direct supply from the supplier, or it will come as a delivery from your warehouse. Before moving on, let us take a look at how the My Projects dashboard is updating. We can now see a new report come up here called Pending Material Request. If I click on it, it says 2 pending, and we can see that for this project there are 2 pending requests that we just created. They are both showing pending status. As the status changes, this will be updated, and the received quantity is 0 right now. As and when the material is received against this request, we will see this received quantity keeps increasing, and once it matches the requested quantity, this report will be dropped out of this tracker here. It will not be pending anymore. And then there is this report called Project Work My Project. This is a planned versus actual task report. So all the tasks that we created in the Manage Work module are shown here, and they're all planned right now. But as and when these tasks get done, there will be an actual count that will be shown in a bar that comes up. And then we will see a complete planned versus actual bar chart for each of the task categories that we have created. Before we receive the material, we'll have to see what happens to the material request. So we will first go to approvals, where whoever has to approve these requests will see the request, and they can open and see it in the editor, and they can see what is a project, what is the total BOQ quantity, BOM quantity, how much has been already delivered. All these basic numbers are being shown here, and what is requested. So they can look at all this and then mark this request as create PO. That means that the purchase department is being informed that for this request a purchase order needs to be created and approved. So this is how this is going to be created. The other request, let us see this one. We will just approve this as if we are going to deliver this quantity from our store directly. So no PO to be created. So we just approve it, right? These are the two ways in which you can handle the material request. You can either ask the purchase department to create a PO and then go from there, or you can just approve it, which means that you will keep stock of it in your warehouse and then deliver the quantities. To make it clearer, before receiving material, we will see some steps for creating a purchase order and for making a delivery from the store. And only after that, we will move on to receiving at the project site. To see the purchase order making process quickly, we go to the purchase dashboard. And here we have this report called material request pending PO, and we go to the current month, because we just created this, and we see this Ramesh Kumar warehouse project, and we can open it. And to make a PO for this project, what we have to do is select all the items and use this setup PO option to create a PO. When we do that, a purchase order editor is created. It is filled up with all the important information, and by default it is saying deliver to the customer site. If we are okay with that, we can leave it like that. If we want this delivered to our warehouse, we can change that to our warehouse name. For now, I will leave it like that. I will pick a supplier, for example, like in India, and we will say deliver this, because we had a delivery due date given of 30th. I will pick 30th, and all the items have been listed here, quantities are here, and what I can do is I can say what rate is being offered. For more detail on how the rates can be applied based on supplier inquiries, please look at the video that shows how to make purchase orders. For now, we are making it really quickly. We filled the rates, the quantities were given already, and we saved and hit next. And that's it. A PO has been created for this order. We can look at the PO that looks like this. It can be printed and shared with the supplier, and we are going to directly confirm it. There is another video that shows a more elaborate approval process, but we are going to bypass that for now and say we are directly approving the PO and save it. And now this PO is ready, and the delivery is at the project site, as we can see, delivered to this, right? So we will be taking delivery directly at the project site. Okay, so this is important. For delivery of the low side items, I go to the store dashboard, find this report called pending deliveries for project. Click here on the name of the project manager whose material request we are looking at. Pick this one, Ramesh Kumar, which we just created, 140 quantity, that is for the low side. Then click here and see that all these items are here, and what I want to do now is create a delivery challan for all these items, because all have been approved. So I select them all and then use this setup dispatch option to create a delivery editor. All the important information here has been filled up already. I just have to select the quantities that I want to dispatch. I have filled in all the quantities and hit save. And next step is approve dispatch. That's it. My delivery challan is ready. Now this delivery will be available at the project site for them to receive. Finally, we are ready to receive items into our project. So I'm back in the My Projects dashboard, and here for the high side items, remember we had created a supplier PO that said deliver to site, right? So I look at this outstanding supplier POs, my project, and I see there is a Daikin India PO, and assuming that this delivery is now available, I can select this and click on this receive goods option. Here the PO has been basically dumped here with all the items in the PO, and all I have to do is now note down the quantity that has been supplied. To help, we have the order quantity here and the pending quantity here, right? This assumes that the supplier may not deliver all the order quantity in one go. So there may be issuing material little by little. So I received the material here, and for now, I will assume that I got one of this, and two of this, and two of this, assuming that the rest will come in subsequent deliveries. I will enter the invoice number and the invoice date and save it. Next, after receiving this, I am supposed to do approve GRN, but before that, I will do this, enter serial numbers. This is an important step because we are receiving units, the outdoor units, indoor units, and these are going to be tracked individually. So I will need to enter the serial numbers for each of these units. It is also possible to automate this by scanning the QR code. If there's a QR code on the machine, I can scan it and potentially get the serial number here. But for now, I will just enter them. I have entered all the serial numbers and I updated the make also, which for some reason was not filled. So now I am ready to save this. That means that I have received all these items under this particular GRN and the QR codes have now been generated. So we have received these items. So this QR code is generated that shows the serial number and the company, which is Coolex Aircon in this case, and the model number and so on. We will see that in another video. But for now, the items have been received. So I can go back to this and hit approve GRN. Again, this approve GRN should be done only after we know that everything has been correctly filled up, because if I want to make any edits to it now, it is not possible. If I just change it, say I had entered a wrong invoice number, I want to change it and save, I'll get an error that says confirmed receipts cannot be modified. So I will have to cancel this and then change it. So it's important to make sure that the approve GRN is done only after all the information has been correctly entered, including all the serial numbers of all those items that were received. Now for the internal transfer, we know that a delivery challan was created and material was transferred to our project site, and now we are ready to accept that. So we have gone into this invert transfers my project, where we see the delivery challans that were made for our project, and to accept we hit this button called accept, and here we see all the quantity that was delivered. This is what we did in the last step. Now this is an acknowledgement step where the project has to acknowledge that they received actually the same quantity that was supplied by the store, so that there is no discrepancy here. They write the supply quantity is given as per the DC. Now the project person is going to enter what they actually received and they are going to save it. Just like earlier, I will make sure that these numbers are correct and there is no discrepancy anywhere. And if I am satisfied, I hit this approve GRN. And when I do that, the quantities, all these items have officially entered my site inventory. I have acknowledged that I have received all this material and now I am in charge of this material. To verify that indeed all that material has entered our books, we go to project status my project, where I am presented with this report, where we had earlier seen the BOQ quantity and then we had updated the BOM quantity. Now I can see the stock in, right? Whatever material was received is reflecting here in the stock in. We did not type in this stuff here. We just received the delivery challans and we did the GRNs and the material has appeared here. It's time to get some work done and report measurements. So let's go to manage work here, and we have a low side works task here. We just changed it to mean refrigerant piping installation, and we say supposing this is now completed, then I mark that as completed and save it. Okay. And next, I can go back here and say report measurement. Supposing I want to report, I click here, flow side works, and give it a little description and save. When I do that, all the material that was delivered to the project site is presented here. What I have to do is write down the quantity of all this material that I have measured. So it's as if I have gone to the project site and I have measured and seen how much of each of these items has been installed. So I'm going to put some quantities there. So I have filled in some quantities. Now it is possible to get this approved and signed by the customer. So I'm going to put the name of the customer's name, their phone number, and remark from the customer, and then I can have them sign this like this on the soft screen right here and save. And this is how a measurement report is generated. We have taken all these measurements and reported. Now it will be part of our project status report. We can check that. Back in the My Projects dashboard, if I go to the selected projects and project status, I can see now, look at this consumed report. It shows the quantities that we listed there as the consumed quantities. So this is how it works, and now we can see the stock in hand has been adjusted. 30 stock in was 30, 10 consumed, so 20 left, right? So that is how the stock in hand is being updated automatically. To initiate installation of machines, we go to manage work, and here we pick the new project work option, where we can fill up this form. I have assigned the work to Arbaz, listed what exactly needs to be done. Installation of indoor units in conference room 1. The project, customer, site, etc. came automatically. I added name of a contact person and their number in case Arbaz needs help. Now I save, and in my next step I add machines to this task. How to do that is I click here and browse, and that shows me all the machines that are available at this site. And I see that there's a bunch of machines which have been already installed, so I don't go there, but then these machines are delivered but not installed. So I can pick these and say that Arbaz will install these at the location. Now I will put points at which these machines need to be installed like this. I will leave the action taken alone right now, and the contact person names are here. I can save it. So I have just created a task for this work, the conference room indoor installations. Now, if Arbaz is using his phone to run Opterix, he will be able to do the installation. Let us see how that works. Let us now see the technician in action. I have logged in as Arbaz, and I have switched to an iPhone or a mobile phone mode of the browser so that I can show you how it looks like on the phone. Now Arbaz is going to see all the tasks assigned to him, and we will pick this one called project work. Click on that, and the first one see is called installation. Select that. When I select that, it shows me more detail of who is the customer, what is the work required, and first thing I do is check in. Right, this is like how a lot of the technician works happen. So check in to capture the GPS location and the start time. Now all these machines have to be installed, so Arbaz is going to install them one by one and set this as installed. Okay, so for each machine that he has installed, he will mark as installed. If he has not installed some machine, he can leave that as untouched. he can leave that as none, for example, and that will not be updated. So he should mark as installed what he has installed. He can take a bunch of pictures of before and after. He can pretty much take pictures of all the machines and load them here as before and after, or you can just take all the after pictures. After having done this, he will save and hit next, where he will check all these things to tell us that he has done all the checking. He has made sure that things are working. We can have a different set of criteria, different checkpoints for this kind of a project based installation, because maybe the systems will not be working yet. So we can have a different set of checkpoints, but right now we are just seeing it as a demo, and save and hit next. Then here he can get this Mr. Shiva Rao to sign it off to approve that the machine has been actually installed, and this person has seen that. And after taking the person's signature, he saves. So this is how Arbaz completes his work of installation and moves on to his next work. We are back in the project's dashboard, and let us take a look at this report. It says machines delivered to project. It shows the status of the machines that have been delivered. And let us look at this bar. Click on it. It says that these machines are delivered. They have not been marked as installed. And I'll tell you why. Because although Arbaz has gone and done the installation, we have not verified his work. We have not seen that the work is done and verified. So we will do that now. We see that installed indoor unit task is there, and we see that there is a report which shows all these machines are installed. If you notice, these are the same serial numbers that we see as delivered, and here Arba is saying he has installed and he has got Shiva Rao's signature. So now we are sure that he has installed. If he had uploaded any photos, we would have seen all the photos right here. So after being satisfied, we will mark this as completed and save. And that is how we formally accept and report that the machines have been installed. See, now if you look at this report, the installed is all there is. The delivered section is not there, because all the machines, this conference room 0.1234 machines, are now showing as installed. Everything has been installed. Usually, commissioning is done for a set of machines together. They may belong to the same circuit, or they may belong to the same section of the building, or so on. Let us see how it is done. We will go back to manage work, and we'll assume that a whole bunch of machines have been already installed, tested, and all kinds of diligence is done. Now we are ready to hand it off to the service. So we go to the new project work again, and here select commissioning and assign it to a person. It could be typically a person from the service department. Wrote down some details of the handover process, what circuits, what place, etc. These things come automatically. Contact name and number, just like we have done before, and save. Here again we will pick the machines, and assuming that all the installed machines need to be picked, we can just select here, select them all, and click. And so we are saying that all the machines we have installed so far, we are going to be commissioning. So this is it. We have set it up for commissioning, and we can save. And when we do that, what this does is it creates a commissioning task for the service department, and now the service department will take a look at it and verify that the work has been completed. To complete the commissioning process and start a warranty, we come to the service dashboard. In the service dashboard, under task, we see commissioning report. Let's go there and we find this Ramesh Kumar farmhouse commissioning report is there. Select that and go into it and see that all these machines are listed here. This is where we will note down the action taken. If we are not going to include some machine as a commission, we can leave that as none. So it is important to mark off every machine which has been commissioned individually. If required, write down any remarks. You can take down any handover remarks, add whatever additional remarks need to be done. And you can take signature from Mr. Shivam Desai, just like we did earlier. So that done, this is how commissioning reports are created in the system. Most importantly, we have to put the commissioning date here, which I will put just now, and save. Next. So after this, we will go down to this and mark it as completed. So this is an important step, which also means that the two steps could be done separately. One person could be marking off all the machines as commissioned, and then somebody else could be reviewing this and then marking it as completed. Right now we have left it as a simple method where the same person is doing everything, but it is possible to put some layer of security here, and we save it. And as soon as this is done, we have done the handover process, and now we are left with creating a warranty. So to create a warranty, as soon as we mark it as completed, we see a setup warranty option right here. So we click on that and it shows us this screen where we have to put the name of a service manager. It would be the person who is responsible for this particular contract. We are creating a warranty contract, so this person will be responsible to make sure that the routine maintenance is done, etc. The contract type is set as warranty. Services per year are 3, which is default, but if you need to change it, you can do it. Start date, end date, and first service date, the routine maintenance will be delivered on the 26th Feb. So we fill this and hit save, and that's it. Warranty has been created for this customer, and we can see that a routine maintenance schedule has been created. We go under next to AMC warranty summary, and we see that 3 routine maintenance activities have been generated. So we will now start getting the routine maintenance reminders at the start of each month for all the customers for whom service is due in that month. So for this particular customer, we will get the reminders on these dates. And we can see under this machines under contract, we see that all these machines that we had just commissioned have now been put under warranty. We have the full detail of where they are located in the premises, their warranty status. So now if a complaint comes for this customer, this information will be readily available. So you will be able to service the customer effectively. Back in the My Projects dashboard, we can see now the machines delivered to projects, they are showing warranty. The installed and delivered, etc. are gone. Now they are all warranty. We can see that all these machines have been marked as warranty machines. So we are done with processing one set of machines, and if we go down, we can see that these blue actual completion bars have started coming up. So of all these installation tasks, 2 have been completed, and low side works, 1 has been completed. So this is how we can track the progress of all the work that is getting done. Let us now review the project status report. We had earlier seen the BOQ quantity, how it came up when we created the quotation, BOM quantity when we did the material planning, and stock in when we delivered stock either directly from the supplier or via internal transfer. Now we see the consumed quantity. As we have installed these machines and commissioned them, they have been reported as consumed. and whatever material we had reported in our measurements has also been marked as consumed, and therefore the stock in hand for these items has reduced. So this is how it flows. As the work progresses, these columns will keep getting updated. The delivered value and cost, etc., keep getting updated. And when we do the billing, the billed quantity and amounts also will get updated here. That brings us to an end of this video where we saw how project execution takes place on Opterix workflows. To summarize, we started with material planning where we created the bill of material quantities for all the material required for the project, and then we prepared a work schedule. We requested material high side and low side, and the material was sent by a PO in one case for the high side and by internal transfer for the low side material. We received that material and then reported measurements for the material. And then for the equipment, we saw how installation happens. We initiated the installation and then we saw how the technician actually does the work and reports the installation completed. And we verified that and then handed over all the machines for commissioning. Then we went to the service department where they verified the commissioning and started warranty. And we saw how the warranty was created and a service schedule was generated, how all the machines that are included in the warranty were listed under the warranty. So this is it for now. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with more. Bye bye.